Hi, welcome to Community Living, and my name is Malebo Nkosi. So, I'll be taking you through my personalized experience of using Young Professional Banking with Nedbank, right? I'm not going to cover the other three banks, be it FNB, ABSA, and Standard Bank, right? Because I haven't used their services, I don't know how their services work. I've um, I've talked about it with a couple of my friends, but I do not have a personalized experience, right? So I found out about the Young Professional Banking around 2018, and from there, since hadn't yet concluded my studies, I obviously was on the design student account, right? So the reason I considered taking it is that I was looking for a solution that it was very similar to the student account, be it that I was only paying 20 rands to for like what is called maintenance fee, right? So that maintenance fee ensured that I can withdraw money without being charged. I can also just swipe without being charged, and also the EFTs were not charged. I think they were in terms of the deposits, they were kept to three deposits where I think I wasn't being charged because they understood I was a student. I need all the money from whoever is sending me money, right? So that's when I tried to look for a product that was very similar to that, and then I found out about the Young Professional Banking. So in 2019, when I started working, I went and further inquired in terms of like the bank that I'm using, which is Nedbank, to say, okay, I found out about this online, in particular LinkedIn. I found about it on LinkedIn, and I know that it offers this, and that. Is that true? How do I have access to it? What do I need to have access to it, right? So because I was an existing Nedbank client, what I needed to do was just to sign a couple of papers, right? So those papers were just basically saying that I am being moved from the normal Nedbank service, like it's a tiered service. I don't know if I've mentioned it already, but like the Nedbank client, normal Nedbank banking to the professional banking services. So how the banker that I'm using explained it, it's like he called them decars. Yeah, so it was like there's like the first decar, which is your normal banking, then there's professional banking, and there's obviously private wealth. So that's how the services are tiered. So young professional banking falls under professional banking. So the difference between young professional banking and professional banking is that we pay 50% of the fees, right? Whereas someone who's above a certain age or who doesn't have the same type of premise, which is that you have to have at least a 4-year degree, right? So that was the minimum requirement of being able to attain a young professional banking services, right? So you must have a 4-year degree. Initially, it was just for 4-year like straight 4-year degrees, so like engineering, law, medicine, and I think actuarial scientists were also part of the list. So I think from late last year, they changed it to anyone that has a 4-year degree, meaning that they include people that have honors degrees. So let's just say you have a 3-year BCom degree, right, for undergrad, and you have like an honors degree in BCom, you will be able to gain access to the young professional banking. So my experience was that initially it looked really good on paper. You have so many benefits, things like you only pay a set fee. As I said, that I moved from the student account, which had a set fee, and then that's what I wanted. I didn't want this thing of being pay as you go type of service where they're like, oh, if you withdraw this amount you get charged, if you swipe you get charged. So I didn't want that whole thing of a variable banking fee. So I wanted a set fee that I know that every single month paying this fee and all my banking activities are catered for. So that's one of the product offerings that they have, right? And then the second thing is that they have lounge access. So if you are a frequent flyer, last year I was a frequent flyer. I think I flew about like 18 times in and out of Joburg from Eastern Cape. So that was a very great benefit at that point in time, because yay, like initially when I walked in, like everyone just looked so like way older than me. I didn't feel like I belonged in that place, especially with my background. If you have watched any of my videos or the black text video where I come from very humble beginnings, like being in the midst of people that you can see that are making serious money, I was very much intimidated. I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like this is you're not being true to yourself. You are attaining a service that you shouldn't be having. Like I felt like a scam, like a con artist, But then I just had to tell myself mentally that no, you're paying for this service. It's already paid for. Like whether or not your shoes are like 300 and this person is wearing shoes that are like 5,000, that doesn't matter. This is a service you've already paid for. So those are some of the things I think I want to cover in this episode, whereby sometimes we already have access to certain things, but because of where we come from, we deny ourselves access to those things because we feel like it's not yet time, or we feel like we are being a fake or a fluke or something of that sort, right? So I'm glad that I was mentally able to just withstand all that pressure that I was putting upon myself, because no one was like judging me or anything. They're probably just looking at me and asking themselves the same question, like, does she have the 800,000 that you need to be having lunch access? So they're asking themselves if I'm a young millionaire or anything of that sort, right? So in that time, I'm so far away from being a young millionaire, then we're working on it. We're working, okay, one day at a time. But so that was one of the nice perks of having a young professional banking. The other one is that you have access to a banker, and initially it sounds good on paper because they're like 24 access to a banker. So whenever you want to do anything, like this person can come to your workplace, and like whenever you want to sign papers, you just come there and you sign. You don't have to walk into like a branch anymore. Guys, my banker. Yes, I'm going to call him my banker because it's a service that I'm paying for, and I'm not being rude or anything. But my banker. Yo. Mhlolo. I mean, so no, like guys, like no. There's so many things that I could say about that guy, but this episode is not about him. It's about young professional banking and the services that is offered. So it might just be him and not necessarily the product. So I'm not going to taint the product because I have a bad banker, right? So yeah, he's not even a salesman, because with some bankers you'd feel like, okay, this person is trying to sell me this product, right? This guy is not even trying to do anything. Sorry that I'm talking just a bit too much about him, whereas I'm supposed to give you my personalized experience, but I guess it is part of it. So that is the other thing. And then some of the other packs is that you have like certain amount that's already allocated, or that is have the affordability for it, right? So let's just say for a house you have up to 1.5 mil almost guaranteed. By the almost guaranteed, obviously there are terms and conditions of being able to gain access to those funds. I think with a car you have up to 500,000 almost guaranteed as well. Oh, you get greenbacks, which is like whenever you spend money on, I think even normal card, you get like a certain percentage back. I don't know I remember he did explain to me how it works, that for every 5 rands, I think I gain 10 cents or something, but yeah, something of that sort. So you do gain some rewards in terms of that, and I usually use it to pay some of my fees. I've never been able to use it for anything else. So in terms of rewards that are similar to eBucks rewards, yeah, they're not that good. And then another thing that I was able to gain very easily as a result of being on this account or service is that I was able to get a credit card very easily. And I just found out from a friend of mine that the amount that's given to people that are on the Young Professional account is actually way higher than people on normal bank accounts, right? So it's like 40k plus, so almost in the 50s, and I think you can actually get it to increase if you want an increase on the amount. And that's for someone who's having first time credit allowance, if I might call it that, or credit facilities being opened up. So it's a lot of money, especially for consumer type of credit. Yeah, I think I've covered most of the bases in terms of the Young Professional banking, and overall I'll give it 3.75 out of 5 for my personalized experience, right? But if if I had a better banker, I think I'd give it a 4.5 or 4.25. So that's it when it comes to Young Professional banking and how I found it. And yeah, so if you are using Young Professional banking or you're considering using Young Professional banking, please comment down below. And yeah, please just subscribe and like if you like the episode. So thank you for joining today's episode.